Okay, so today you're going to get to build your own glider. Before I gave you wings and stabilizers, today you're going to make your own. You must design a wing and horizontal stabilizer based on the results that we've been collecting through all of our experiments. Remember that we decided that the longer wings seem to do better, that they need to be straight or triangle out to the side, that flat is better than curved, things like that. So think about that when you're designing your wings. Okay, you will be adding binder clips and to your glider when you test them, and that will be your cargo, kind of like your boxes of food and medicine that you're taking to the people in need. Okay, you can only use the materials that are provided on your blue tray or that the teacher has given you. Okay, and our goal is to make a glider that can transport at least 3 binder clips or 3 boxes of food at least 10 feet when we fly. So what I wanted to talk to you about next, and I'm going to come out here and show you, is in order to make our own glider, you're going to use some cardboard. Cardboard is much heavier than paper, so it's not flimsy like paper. It's really stiff. We're going to draw our wings and stabilizers right on the cardboard and then cut that out using scissors. Okay, but cardboard is kind of expensive and we don't want to waste it. We want to make sure we have good wings. So one thing we've been talking about is how to make them equal on both sides. So just like when we made our paper airplanes, we're going to fold our paper, making sure we have our corners matching. I'm going to bring this down a little bit so you can see better. Okay, so we're going to fold our paper. Now I have a line of symmetry down the middle. So what I'm going to do is draw my wing design. So I'm going to show you. I'm just going to use one half of the paper, kind of like if you were to fold a paper in half and then make like a heart for Valentine's Day. Kind of same idea. So I'm just going to go from that middle line. Here's my line of symmetry here where I folded it. I'm going to go from that center line out close to the edge because I want long wings. Okay. And then I'm going to go down a little and then come in and maybe kind of go down and do a fancy and then come in. So I'm only going to draw on one half of my paper. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half and we're going to use tracing to make this line of pencil show up on the other page. So before I do that, I want to make sure I really color over my line, darken it in. I'm going to trace it so it's nice and dark. You don't want to make it too wide, but you need to make it wide enough that it's going to transfer pencil from one side to the other. Okay, once I've traced around the whole thing, so I'm going to stop at that midline. Now I'm going to close it. And you may not be able to see this very well, but I can see the line through the paper. So I'm going to trace over the top of the paper following that same line. It doesn't have to be extremely neat, but I do need to make sure I get on that line so it transfers to the other side. We're going to use transfer. So when I open it up, now we can see it's faint, but I can see the line from either wing. So now I can color over the top of it with my pencil. You want to use pencil and not crayon because crayon doesn't transfer like lead does. So I'm going to trace over the top. Now I have a really dark outline. So I can raise my hand, and when the teacher comes to see me, I'm going to say, I'm ready for my cardboard, and the teacher will bring me a piece of cardboard. So what you're going to do next is you're going to lay that on top of the cardboard. You want to make sure your pencil part that you're using to trace is facing the cardboard, because then what we're going to do again is we're going to trace the outline of the wing. So you're just going to trace over the outside of that wing. Okay, all the way around. And I know I traced this one earlier, but that's when I was making my other pattern, so I need to trace it again so that I can get that pencil to transfer onto my cardboard. So you can see here now, I have my tracing. Any place it didn't show up really well, you can just color over with your pencil once again to make sure it shows up really well. And then you're going to use a pair of scissors to cut that out. Our white boxes of scissors that are in that brown cabinet, we're going to use the big adult scissors. These cut better when we're dealing with cardboard, and so you can get better leverage to cut on those lines with cardboard. You want to make sure you're saving these outside pieces. I don't want to cut up all of this because I can use some of these smaller pieces to make stabilizers. Stabilizers are much smaller than wings, and I'm only going to get 2 pieces of cardboard, and I might get to make more than one wing. So save the small pieces to help make your stabilizers. And you want to save as much of your cardboard as you can. So I'm going to cut off all this excess, but I don't want to waste any cardboard by cutting it up into little pieces. So I'm going to do my best to cut around the wing without cutting too much of my cardboard apart. It's kind of hard to see, I know, while I'm cutting. But now you can see I still got to cut this little piece out, but I have all this cardboard here I can make stabilizers out of. So I'm going to use the same process that I use for my wing. I'm going to fold my paper in half. Stabilizers are much smaller, so I actually don't need this big of a piece. I'm going to draw my stabilizer on half of it, and then I will trace it and use that same tracing technique to create my stabilizer. And then when my stabilizer's all done, I can raise my hand and get my cardboard for my stabilizer too. So here's my wing that I'm going to put in my airplane. I've got lots of leftover cardboard to make stabilizers. I am allowed 2 pieces of cardboard, so if I need my second piece, I can raise my hand and ask for that, but I get no more than 2. So if you cut up all your cardboard, you're going to have to tape some pieces together to try to make wings and stabilizers, because you only get 2. Mrs. Williams does not have a lot of extra cardboard, so 2 is all you're allowed. All right, enjoy making your gliders today.